So I have been using my Cricut Maker for about 4 to 5 years now, and I found so many ways to make it useful within the classroom, and that's why I'm making this video so that you can learn how to implement some ideas within your classroom. You definitely want to watch the whole way through because there are some innovative ideas within this video that you may not have thought about, or some material that I'm going to show you how to cut that you may not have even known that the Cricut can cut. Let's go ahead and jump right into a few ideas on how to use the Cricut in the classroom. The first project idea is to decorate your door. This door was created when I was teaching kindergarten, and the supplies that I used were glitter cardstock and regular cardstock. The theme of the school year was a future without limits, so I incorporated that within the door, and I wanted to make it super welcoming for children. I have a quick tip when you're crafting with cardstock, and that is to pull your mat away from the cardstock to prevent it from bending. Usually people take the cardstock and bend it away from the mat, and that causes it to curl up, so you want to avoid that. Another tip is that you can use the contour feature in Cricut Design Space to save material. So when I made this door, I didn't know about the contour feature, so I ended up having to cut all of the pieces out, but please save your material and use that contour feature. If you don't know what that means, leave a comment and I'll try to explain it better. So after I cut all of the pieces, I ended up using a glue stick and gluing it onto a white piece of cardstock. I have another Cricut tip for you. And again, I did create this door probably about 3 or 4 years ago, so I didn't know a lot about Cricut Design Space, but instead of cutting this by hand, I could have used the offset feature in Cricut Design Space. Once I pressed the offset button, I would also have to press contour and select hide all contours, which would create one large piece of white paper that I could have just glued the pieces onto. Now, again, if you don't know exactly what that means, just let me know and I will explain it better. But if you have some type of knowledge about Cricut Design Space, then you probably understand what I'm saying. So here is how it turned out. Let me know, leave a comment and tell me what you think about how the door turned out and if you will use your Cricut to decorate a door in your classroom. Next, we have an organization tip by labeling scrapbook cases. Some ideas on how you can label your scrapbook cases include days of the week, student names, and even subjects. A very popular way to organize is to use those rainbow carts, but I like the scrapbook cases better because you can actually move the cases without having to roll an entire cart. The supplies you need for this project are vinyl, a Cricut mat, a weeding tool, transfer tape, and of course, scrapbook cases. You can either use removable vinyl or permanent vinyl. It doesn't really matter. And there's my lovely daughter, Melina. She likes to come down to my office sometimes. So this video doesn't go into depth about how to use Cricut Design Space. However, if you're interested in more tutorials, be sure to check out my description box because I do have a few really great tutorials on how to use Cricut Design Space and how to design things within the platform. So the method that I'm using to create labels is a layering method, which means that I am layering one layer of vinyl onto another, and I really like this idea because it allows you to get creative and get colorful with the way that you do your labels. So I wanted to create a little rainbow type of theme for this, so I cut rectangles of different colors and then added the white vinyl onto the scrapbook cases. Leave a comment and let me know if you would try this organization tip in your classroom. Another way you can use Cricut in the classroom is to create bulletin boards or posters. I made digital printouts of classroom commitments, and if you want to decorate a bulletin board or make a poster like this, you can easily use construction paper or cardstock to create larger letters where you can decorate something that may not be the most fun, like classroom commitments, also known as classroom rules, but you can make it cute. By the way, if you're interested in the printouts of the classroom commitments, I will link them in the description box just in case you might need them for your class. Now let's talk about labeling tables. Using tape on tables is an absolute no. Children always love peeling the tape off, and after a while the tape gets all black and it just looks so gross. So in order to save yourself a lot of time during the year so that you don't have to keep redoing the tape, just use your Cricut to cut out numbers using permanent vinyl, transfer tape, and a scraper. Next, you can use the Cricut to label headphone bags. So depending on what type of technology you're using in your classroom, most schools have laptops, which means that students need headphones. So previous years, I used Ziploc bags to hold headphones, and it was just a complete mess. So luckily, the school this year, when I made the bags, they provided the bags to teachers. So I thought it might be a good idea to just permanently add the names using everyday iron-on, also known as heat transfer vinyl. And whenever you are using heat transfer vinyl, make sure you warm up the material first before you add the heat transfer vinyl, because if you don't, sometimes your material will not stick, especially if it's specialty material like this bag. I'm not 100% sure what this material is, but I did mess up a bag because I did not heat it first before adding the everyday iron-on material. And here is how it looks. It goes with the laptop inside of the bucket. Everything would go inside of the bin, and then I would designate one table leader of the day to grab their bin from the little storage shelf that they had and pass out all of the bags to each other. You definitely need to teach your students how to use the bags though, because you don't want them trying to peel off the letters, even though it does stay on there. But if obviously a child is picking at it, it will come off. So just make sure you train them how to use it well. Now we have the attendance board. Now this is a really interesting material to cut, which is this magnetic adhesive sheet. And this was my first time ever cutting it, and I was really impressed at how clean of a cut that I was able to get just by using the regular Cricut blade that comes with the Cricut Maker. Here's what the magnetic adhesive looks like. I got it at Michael's, and then you just place it on top of the mat and make sure it's down all the way, and here is how it cuts. It cuts the same circle 4 times, or whatever shape that you're cutting with your adhesive. You can make different shapes, you can do whatever you want, honestly, but I just wanted to do something simple just for the sake of showing how to use the magnetic sheets. Once you have all of your circles cut out, then you can go ahead and add vinyl with your students' names on it and use transfer tape like we have been doing with the other vinyl projects. And the attendance board is a really easy way to have your students take attendance for you. I know that if you're a teacher, you're like always behind in taking your attendance, unless you're like one of the few rare teachers who love taking attendance on time. But this is a great way to see who's there. Right when they come in, they can move their dot to show that they're in class, or if they leave the classroom, they can move their dot to wherever they may be. And I also did use vinyl for the whiteboard, and it looks so cute. You can use whatever color you want. You can use different shapes, and that is how I made the attendance board. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. Don't forget to leave a comment to let me know which projects were your favorite and if you'll try them. As always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.